So my last video, I explained to you what the process of having a compass consultation with me looks like. This video, I wanted to give you a little taste of some of the detailed information that would be talked about when we go through your strengths. The number one thing that I want to emphasize is that this is a positive experience. It is not something where I tell you what is wrong with you or what you need to change, or we don't talk about weaknesses, any of that kind of stuff. I give you a permission to be yourself and an outlook of who you are in a way that you might not be able to see, because we all look at ourselves through those tainted lenses of previous experiences and judgments and opinions and everything else that weighs on us, that interferes with how we see ourselves. So this gives you a very clear sense of self-awareness and a positive way to move forward, so that you can be more of a shining light in your life as well as those around you. We do talk about your bottom strengths, but not as weaknesses of things that you need to try to work on and do. It's more things to just be mindful of and honestly learn to be okay with as well. So what I do is I type up a whole set of notes that you'll receive digitally when we finish. So you'll have this to be able to refer to at any time. If we have the meeting on Zoom, I also send you a recording so you can go back and refer to that if you would like as well. True to anything else in life, when you learn something new, or you even just it's a new perspective or new way to look at something, if you don't keep it top of mind and keep using it and leaning into it, it's going to fall flat and you're going to go back to your old ways, and then you're going to wonder why you're still stressed and experiencing some of the troubles that you had been having that made you reach out to me in the first place. So what I do is I take this top sheet that will come back after you take the assessment. This is your ranking of the 34 traits in the way they show up for you and you alone. It'll be unlike anyone else's. Like I mentioned in the other video, the definitions that I give to each one, or the explanation of each trait, is dependent on what other ones show up around it. So it's not just cookie cutter. And also, I want you to be really careful not to get caught up in the name of each trait. When we talk about them and you get a better understanding of it, that will help you see how they show up in your life and represent who you are. And you can let go of that label of it, because some people that they get stuck there, and then it's hard to accept and embrace the traits. So this person here, each trait falls into one of 4 dominant domains as well. So what I do with your top 10 is I break those down and I give you kind of the overview of the dominant domains. So this person has 4 strategic thinking, 3 relationship building, 2 executing, and 1 influencing. So they like to be in their heads and think things through and create and learn and plan and scheme and all of that kind of stuff first. And then they take that information to connect with the right people in getting things done. They're not so caught up in making sure that they're the person in charge of having everybody else move forward in life. That's not their job. And it's good to know these things about ourselves, so then we can say, okay, that's not how I do things, so let me reach out to somebody else who will maybe fill that role if there's something that I need to get done in that way. We're not meant to be all things to all people doing it all. We're meant to do us at our highest level, and then know how to have other people come in and make up the difference, if you will. So their number 1 trait is a learner. And for this person, what it means is you have a desire to continuously improve. You gather information for yourself. You gain confidence from new mastered skills. You don't need to be the expert. You're all about the process of growing, and you find comfort in knowledge. You're inquisitive. So those are all the bridges. Those are the good things about this trait that show up for this person. The tunnel to that, and they all have tunnels if they're on your top, and if they're on your bottom, they all have bridges. There's a yin and yang to all of these. So they also have things to be mindful of. Just because learner is number one, they can't spend their whole entire day with their face in a book. They have to go out and live life as well, even though they may want to spend their whole day with their face in a book. The tunnel to this is that they may jump to new topics or interests. So they're like, I want to learn about this and I want to learn about this. And then sometimes it's hard to stay focused on things that they're actually need to get done, because life is life and we all have things we have to do. But they are lucky because they have strategic next. So they will come up with a plan with all this information they've gathered. And then achiever is after that. So yeah, they do want to get things done. They want to see the fruits of their labor, amount to something. They want to see that accomplishment and that end goal being reached. So we go through each of those, and then I'll give you an example of one of the bottom strengths and how we talk about that. So number 33 for this person is consistency. So this, it doesn't mean they don't know how to be consistent. So we're going to let go of the name and the label of it, and we're going to dive into it deeper. And what it means for them is that they don't believe that all people in situations should be treated the same. They're not about systems and processes. Life doesn't have to be fair. All rules are not meant for all people for this person. They're okay with advantages. Equality is earned, not a given. And structure and uniformity may make them bored. They believe in customizing. So the bridge to this is that they don't need predictability to feel safe and confident. So this is, again, good to understand this about yourself. So maybe think about if they're trying to decide what kind of job they might want. If they are looking at an industry that is every day, you're going to go, you're going to show up, you're going to do the same thing, you're going to tick the boxes, you call it done, and then go home, and then the next day you're going to get up and you're going to repeat that same thing again. Repetition will not be good for them. Again, that learner is number one. They need to be able to keep gathering information. Strategic number two, they have to be able to come up with alternative ways of doing things and be innovative with stuff. Achiever, they want to make sure that they're getting these things accomplished, not just going through the whole thing over and over. Now, somebody with consistency high, they're going to like that safety and that feeling and knowing. They don't want the unexpected. They want to know what's going to come up each day for them. So that type of job is going to fit them great. So again, knowing this information about yourself can save so much stress in going forward in the decisions that you're making. So then what I do with the information all together is, yes, I've chopped it up, but then I put it together more like in a flow. And how is this actually going to show up in your life? And I do a write-up then on what this person is like strictly according to their strengths. I don't need to know your family dynamic. I don't need to know your personal issues. I don't need to know about your childhood. All I'm going to do is come up with a blueprint or a roadmap to how you do things best for this person according to their strengths in application to real life situations. So that's what I provide you. And then along with the written notes and the recorded session, I will every month provide you with a strengths training challenge to keep this in the top of your mind. And then follow-up sessions. I have packages for those too, because let's face it, you're going to get a lot of information given to you all at one time. And a lot of times we need reminders, or if you need to apply it to something specific that's going on in your life, we like to touch base on that too. So here's just a little sneak peek in what this deep dive of a Compass consultation looks like, going through your strengths in an individual session. So if this sounds like something that's going to be beneficial to you, let's connect. I'd love to go through yours.